Achieving fitness and nutrition goals isn't just about discipline, willpower, it's actually about transforming how we approach wellness from the inside out. So why do so many of us stumble even with our best intentions? In today's episode, meet Luke Koek, a personal trainer with 15 years experience, blending his bodybuilding expertise with focus on mental wellness and sustainable nutrition. Together, we're going to tackle the myths around diet and exercise, explore flexible nutrition strategies, and share some realistic tips for building a balanced lifestyle. If you're ready to rethink your approach to health, then this episode is your starting point. Listen in and make sustainable wellness a part of your daily life. Welcome aboard The Nichole Show with host Nichole Hamilton. Our task is to educate, empower, and change lives. Join us for stories of resilience and rebirth. Honest talks that inspire and challenge you. Are you ready to make a move? It begins now. Welcome back, guys. I'm back in Adelaide. There'll only be a couple more podcasts in this beautiful house. I've sold it. It's the Nichole Show, guys, and I am in the studio with a beautiful friend, mentor, and fellow coach, Luke Koek.
Cook.
I always say it wrong. That's my dyslexia. Cook. Luke Koek.
It's Dutch and it's spelled super weird, so it makes sense.
All right. Well, yeah. Luke Koek.
Yeah.
I'm going to change that in my phone so I remember it. I love working with aligned and especially men's coaches because there's a lot of women in the coaching world. I know you come from the PT and the fitness world, but I love having parents, men in this world for me because in my coaching world, it's flooded and the support worker world with women and finding integrated men that can deeply talk about their feelings and vulnerability, it makes, well, for me and us women, feel safer, feel heard and seen. So, Luke, give us a little intro on you, and then I'm going to ask you some questions because I think it's really important for some of our listeners, and also it gives the masculine perspective for some of my parents out there. So
yeah.
Tell us a bit about you.
So I spent 15 years in the fitness industry as a face-to-face personal trainer for 10 years. 10 years I was face-to-face. Just kind of like...
It goes like that.
Just was so fast.
And you look so young still.
I try. don't feel it today. It's been a big day yesterday. 10 years face-to-face and then, 10 years bodybuilding, 10 years natural bodybuilding.
Yeah,
so which has been a long journey. And that's just taught me so much. I don't think I realized the impact of like how much resilience and like patience and the skills I learned just from applying myself to one thing specifically over a period of time, like every day for 10 years type of stuff, you know. And then it was like after the bodybuilding, it was moving into how can I help people on a deeper level? Because it was like, here's a meal plan, Nichole. Can you stick to this meal plan? And you're like, nope, absolutely not. And it just bothered me. I was like, why are you not? Why is what's missing? So and then my journey sort of went deeper into myself when I started to realize like, the psyche, the unconscious mind, there's so much more layer to why people can't like follow the meal plan. Yeah. You know, there's self-limiting beliefs and there's conditioning that we get from like people and our parents. And then I saw that through me with my daughter, for example. It was like, this is where conditioning comes from, whether you can see it or not, right? And being kids coach and stuff, which we haven't even talked about any of that stuff. It was like, I came out one day and it's like this monkey see, monkey do. And Luna had a box of cereal with protein powder and milk, and she was making herself a shake, which went fucking everywhere, and poured it into a bowl of cereal. And then she grabbed the blueberries out the freezer and spilled them all over the floor, and she made a bowl of cereal with protein milk in it. Aww. Because she sees daddy do it.
Yeah.
And it was just like, like the unconscious conditioning that you can get through food. So that's now like fast forward, like I've done NLP and I've done the hypnosis and, you know, the breathwork part to the side for a minute, but it was, it made more sense why some people struggle on different levels compared to others. Other people are just like, follow the meal plan, get amazing results. And I've now transformed like thousands of people. And then the other part was like the psychology behind, you know, I don't believe that people should be dieting. I think people should
I love that. I love that about you.
Yeah, so fast forward to now, it's like I believe in the power of flexible, sustainable nutrition and the power of breath work. You combine those things together, you'll be like the most unstoppable motherfucker.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And for me, you know, I've been in the coaching world and like the holistic healing world, to the emotional, body, spiritual way for a really long time. I went and got my PT, qualifications years ago.
I think everyone's got one.
Yeah, well, when I started teaching pole dancing, I, needed to, facilitate. But for me, the nutrition never, I don't know if it's just it never clicked. And, the discipline that you have, the habit stacking, the way that you really unpacked it for me made so much sense this time around. Like I had literally been starving myself of the right nutrition and macros for my whole life. So no wonder, even though I'm mentally or emotionally feeling good, my body couldn't shift or change. Like it would change and then it would revert back. And so there's an unsafety in it if I'm not fueling it with the right kind of movement, breath, and nutrition. And so learning from you, I don't know, just it really, really clicked. And my body composition's changed heaps in this last 8-week challenge. But I feel more, I feel more energized. I do.
Yeah, it's energized. Yeah,
and I feel like, and even though I went to Bali and had, got a bit of an upset belly and a bit sick, like coming back, just getting back on the plan, moving my body, like I'm in that state. And that affects everything though. Yeah. That is my baseline. Like if I'm not feeling good, I can't be a good parent, be a good wife, be a great coach. Like having that energy to be able to give, and it's giving to myself first. Yeah. Then allows. And so that's why, and that's why I got you on the masters the other week, is because habit stacking counts in all areas. You can't just, you can go on this spiritual journey, but if you're still eating junk food, scrolling on Facebook and getting really, really like obese and not okay, like your health is not there. You can be super fit, like you can be a gym junkie at thing, but still have so many other addictions and still not be of a healthy mindset. It is the correlation of the both. And through this work, I think people kind of find it, like they're like, oh, okay.
Because I said the other day I run a lot of corporate workshops, and I said, what do you think healthy is? Yeah. Like what's healthy? What does healthy look like to you? And I believe that healthy is total health and wellness, where you observe yourselves spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. That's healthy. Yeah. That's the whole self. Because, I even had a client the other day, and she was on the call, and we do a hot seat call Monday night, and she goes, I'm just a better mum when I train. Yeah. I'm just a better mum when I eat well. Yeah. I'm just a better human when I eat, when I'm aligned with, we talk about non-negotiables and baseline, and now you're kind of like, oh, I got them, right? When you're in the energetic state through not dieting and then through training, she goes, I'm just a better mum. I've lost 8 kilos and I feel better in myself. So 100%. Then you've got that capacity. And like the description of self-love is like, it's a necessity to radiate love and energy to others because you're putting yourself first.
Yeah, I love that. And it really does. Like, I came back, my alarm clock was going off this week. I've only managed to get up and go to the gym this morning at 5 a.m.
I know you messaged me, I was like, oh.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm up. I'm doing it. Because I went to the gym yesterday as well.
But how good do you feel?
Amazing. Like, legit amazing. But that, for me, I noticed coming back, not training, trying to get back into it. It is that habit stacking. Like, if you feel lazy and you press snooze and you don't feel like it, and then you eat bad that day or don't drink enough water, that carries on. And so really pulling back to those habits, you've got to come back to those things that make you feel good, like extra water, making sure that I was eating the right things, and obviously getting my ass back into the gym. Because
and you know what, like this is the part where this frustrates me in the fitness community and the world, is like, TikTok, and there's fasting, and I talk about this in the content that I've built. It's like there's so many shiny dopamines for people, and it's like, oh, I'm going to try this, oh, I'm going to try this. If you are the person that consistently goes and tries what Karen's doing, and then what Steph's doing, and then whatever, I would rather see Nichole do 3 of her basic bitch non-negotiables for the next 6 months. She will outwork, out-train, and get better results compared to anyone else, because they've chosen the shiny dopamine that gives them 6 kilos in like 2 days. Yeah. And then there's no sustainable habits. And I made a post the other day, and it was like the Christmas post, and I was like, are you going to be the person that is scared in a state of fear in your unconscious because you're like, you know what, Christmas is coming, I'm fucked, I'm going to gain like 10 kilos? Or are you the person that is in a state of unconscious and conscious control of your decisions around the food and the pavlova? The pavlova is not making you fat, Nicole. No. It's the way you feel about the pavlova.
Abs will love that. She loves pavlova.
I love pavlova.
So do I.
You know, so you're in a state of control all the time, and it's there's too many shiny things. It's like, just do the basic stuff repetitively over time. And like, I've been a natural bodybuilder for 10 years, and I like to pull all the highlight out of bodybuilding, right? Because there is a lot of mental discipline that requires, and I could talk about Ozempic and things, but like, it's a skill.
Oh my God, please do. I stopped up and went on that last year.
It's a skill to be hungry, right? It's like, you have to learn. It's a resilient skill set to be hungry. You can't just take an injection to be like, oh, I'm not hungry anymore, right?
Well, you can, and it doesn't work. You can, and it fucks up all your hormones. But
tons of problems. But what I do for bodybuilding, to get ready for a bodybuilding show, is nothing special. It's not special. It's just, I do it for a long period of time, and I do all the basic stuff that no one can do, because it's boring. Yeah. It's so boring. You do the same shit every day, innit? You're like a robot. But how easy it works.
Yeah.
I don't eat. Yes, go to my Facebook page, have a look. I get to 5% body fat eating ice cream.
Well, watch this space. So my body composition has changed just in this last 8 weeks, and I'm going to continue working. And we will put all Luke's stuff down here, because I'm really passionate about, even though this is called the Nichole Show, it is really about collabing and sharing everybody else's knowledge, because you're going to find some amazing coaches and trainers and healers through this work. So Luke's details will all be there, and his app that's just launched, which is super exciting. Yeah, it's so good.
It's a big day.
It is. It is. It's like, I'm so proud. Like,
thank you.
So excited.
Yeah, it's been a journey, eh?
100%. 100%. What I wanted to go back to, though, because obviously kids, the monkey see, monkey do with Luna. Like, I love that. So my boys, well, I've got 2 boys and Aurora, but both my boys have amazing work ethic. Both signed up for gyms like in the last couple of years, because they've seen how much I, prioritize it. Yeah. Both will try like protein shakes, make smoothies, and these are things that I haven't gone and said you must do or have to do. It's just following suit. So they've seen me do it, and having
it's so powerful.
100%.
So powerful.
And then even little Aurora, she comes to all my like healings and like breath and meditations, and she's like, gets her little hands into prayer.
Luna does that too, yeah.
And she breathes, and you cannot. So for parents out there, I guess one of the biggest challenges I have is if you're having something go on with your child, you have to model the behavior you want from them. And I find that the hardest with Aurora, with her like ADHD, because I have it. Yeah. But you have to model the kinds of things that you want them to mimic, because there's no point telling them. No one's been told anything. You have to do it. They have to see the copy.
Yeah, that's been massive for me. And the deeper I've gone into my own work to understand the importance of the conditioning of my child, and like I was talking about like the breathwork journey that I did yesterday, and like giving the love that I need to my daughter, like the way I love her, was just so profound. But it's just, I don't think we realize how much our words impact our reality in our own life, or in an energetic way of abundance and blah, blah, blah. But it's like the way your child hears you speak.
Correct.
Like,
so important. I say that with women, and I feel like women have, and I know men do have body dysmorphia, but women have grown up in this world of, Facebook and Insta and filters and whatever else, and we're conditioned for some reason, I don't know why, and even I'm 43, and even when I was younger, thought I was fat. But if you say that, your kids pick up on that. Oh, I'm fat, I can't wear that. That conditioning, I think mothers really realize that in the mirror, like how to speak to yourself. And I talk about this, find something about yourself that you genuinely love. It can be an external or internal, but like don't just blow smoke up your own ass and go, oh my god, I love my ass. If you don't. Oh my god, my skin is beautiful, and I love it when my eyes sparkle and I'm happy. Or find stuff about yourself that you really love, because your words do make your reality. So I've got people that say that they're unhealthy or they're so fat or whatever else. But their body is always going to store the fat. Then if you're saying I'm fat, you're unconsciously going to find a way to be fat. If you're saying that, we had somebody on that masterclass that had all these excuses in the world of like, but I've got this and I've got this. I honestly believe your body can heal anything with the right mindset, with the right nutrition, and the right coaching. But if you go, oh my God, like I've got, this autoimmune disease, and I've got this and I've got that and I've got this, chronic pain.
And I've worked with everyone like that.
But it can be healed.
Totally.
It totally can be healed. Yeah. So it's
also increasing your odds. I want to go back to that thing in a minute, but it's also increasing your odds. Like if you speak to someone in that space, and I'm not by all means dismissing or lowering the intensity of autoimmune diseases, things like that. I've worked with hundreds of people like that. But like I've got a lady right now that has been working with me for a long time, thyroid problems, autoimmune, blah, blah, blah. She's eating carbs. Yep. Doctors say don't eat carbs.
Okay. Yep.
She does breath work because I've taken her through some journeys. She weight trains because it's important for her hormones because she's getting older.
Correct.
She's taking more magnesium. She's focusing on her sleep, and she's seeing more results than ever. But she's been told that, oh, you've got this, and then the conditioning and the belief is now you're fucked. Because you've got
I know, and I really do believe that as well. Like, even just going through an ADHD diagnosis, like when the medical system hypnotizes us with their beliefs, you fully get into this label, into this box of like, oh, I have this. I was chatting to another girl yesterday. She's like, oh, I think I've got perimenopause because I was like angry. I said, oh, fuck that. You don't have it. I'm 43. She's younger than me.
Yeah.
I said, no, you don't.
Yeah.
I said, get that out your head.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
I said, go eat the right foods, get your hormones right, do the right things to your body. Your body can heal anything. But if you watch TikTok and you scroll and you're like, oh my God, I have this, or I've got this.
You're going to believe that you have it. And
and then your body's going to listen to it and it's going to create it. Oh my God, I think I slipped a disc. Oh my God, my back's in too much pain.
Yeah.
Anybody listening to this, you don't, let's not hypnotize somebody into that.
Yeah.
You can honestly heal anything as long as you're working body, mind, soul. And I think that's really important that you find those things. I mean, Wim Hof was the first one that got me into breath.
Yeah.
He actually has studies where people have gone through his cold therapy and his breath work where they've cured different illnesses and ailments and the rest, and he's in medical journals. Look
at the white papers of all the scientific studies now, all the breath work, the amount of healing properties that this work does for people with pain. And I've had a client, I've taken him through a breathwork journey, and he's had chronic back pain and it's gone.
Yeah.
And then it comes back later, but it just shows that, hey, if you're showing up, it is emotional. It's like you're constantly in a state of I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain. Can we take your thinking brain out of that and get your body to come into that healing state where it's just totally offline for a while? When was the last time your body was just offline? And it's not thinking, just being, and that's the profound part of breathwork. That's why it's so healing. And he stood up and he was like, whoa. And I was like, what? He's like, don't feel my back. And I was like, well, but then it will come back. So are you increasing your odds with the things that you're doing in your energetic reality to maintain a new level of
a new baseline?
Yeah.
Correct.
Can I jump back to the other one? I was just talking about the kids thing because I found this fascinating. I've had a lot of people reach out and say, hey, my daughter's struggling with this, this, and this. So if you had found that, I'm trying to find something to land that impact. But it's what I'm saying is I use the words for Luna and I don't want her to have body dysmorphia. I don't want her to have problems or feel if she is gaining or growing that it's in the healthy ways. I say to Luna fuel is like energy. I was like, is it a good choice? And is it going to make you feel good?
Yeah.
It's not. Because I've heard so many young girls go oh, I'm fat. It's well, it was not. And I said to Luna, it's not the burgers that make you fat. It's too many burgers. Too many burgers makes you low energy.
Yeah.
And do you want to be in a breathwork world? Do you want to be fizzy, or do you want to be flat?
Yeah.
I want you to be fizzy.
Yeah. So
breathe through your nose. Choose. Is it a good choice? It's I want a chocolate bar. It's it's 8:30. I was like, is that a good choice? Is that going to help your energy and help you sleep? So I always bring it back to energy, sleep, the parameters that could make her change her state, not her composition. I'm not going to say,
no, you can't.
You can't. It'll make you fat.
Yeah.
You say, honestly, you need to be smacked if you say that as a parent.
I know.
So
but I do feel bad. I do see those kids.
Because it's conditioning from their parents.
Yeah, I do see kids that have had a lot of bad choices, and you see those families that are obese and then their kids are obese, and that just breaks my heart. And that it's a conditioning because it's a behavior and a choice that they're repetitively making.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Bring it back to states of energy or states of things. It's
making good choice.
Making the good choice. And if you have I know that, like you said, with a 13-year-old and she's getting bagged out for eating, getting paid out for not eating or eating at school, her snacks and her lunch. And I'm like, what a world we're living in right now with these kids. But it's if you don't eat, you don't have the energy to go do cheerleading.
Yeah.
And you want to go to the cheerleading, so it's not physically the words that are attached to that. It's like the energetics from that. It's like, hey, you've got to eat the big muscle food so you can be like really good at cheer, and trying to take it.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, take it away from.
There's so much healing that needs to be done in the school system. I could take me.
And then I just, the way I'm practicing things with Luna is like she eats a lot of platters, and she's at the point where I can give her chocolate and everything and lollies, and like all the fruit gets eaten, everything gets eaten. She has a lolly and she gives the plate back to me.
Yeah.
Because I've always given her, and this is something else. If you've got young kids and you're growing up, and this is just what I've done, the psychology of the food, 15 years of doing what I'm doing. Don't restrict your kids.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing is, and my ex-wife, she said this like, and it was so beautiful. It's just like, I'd rather give her everything that she needs, because when she goes to the party, she's not in a state of dopamine chasing. She doesn't
like,
go to
I
the party.
can't have that.
Oh my God, there's lollies. Yeah, and they go to Luna, and our girls come back, with the bag of lollies. She didn't go smash the lolly because she was restricted. It's like human behavior. If I say to Nichole, okay, we're going to do 8 weeks of coaching and you can't have sugar. I've done 27 weeks of no sugar. It's fucked. Don't do that to your kids. Don't make foods bad and good. Make them healthy choices, and don't restrict them. I give Luna platters with chocolate every day. She has chocolate every day. So what happens is it loses, and as an adult, it loses its shiny dopamine effect. I say to people, eat the Tim Tam. Oh my God, I don't want to eat the Tim Tam. Eat the fucking Tim Tam, because what happens after time, it loses its state of fuel, and you'll just go, you know what? Like, all my clients eat pasta. Who here is probably going, oh my God, I'm hanging for pasta. Why? Why are you hanging to eat pasta? If you eat pasta all the time, it loses its intensity, it loses that shiny dopamine, and you'll just go, I'm not feeling like that. You'll go to a party, you'll go for dinner, you'll make the smarter choice because it's energetically better for you, not because you're hanging to have churros with your girlfriends dipping into chocolate.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it.
So,
I love that.
And coming back to kids state, if you teach the kids to do that, and you do that.
No, you just make something drop in for me. So Aurora is quite sensory, and she's 3.5, nearly 4. She went through this stage of not eating for 6 weeks, where she just wanted yogurt and McDonald's ice cream and her milk. That's all. She wouldn't actually put anything in her mouth and chew. So we've done the sensory thing.
Stuff,
I don't know what happened. She did come off the back end of tonsillitis, whether her throat was. We did all the medical right things and checking and OT. However, she's come back into good foods. However, she is quite fussy and does love the white diet. But what just dropped in for me is, instead of restricting and just giving her the things that she's asking for, I should still just make the platter or make the food and go, hey, eat what you like on there and maybe try something, because that's how we did get her back in. Because we've kind of got into a habit of just pandering to her wants. But if we just continue to put those platters out or whatever we're eating as well, she can just pick on it and then she'll actually grow with her own curiosity. It gives her that choice instead of us, restricting and going, oh no, she doesn't eat that. Because I've got to be aware of my words then.
Just fill the whole platter up. Just like fruits and veggies and little snacks and all the things. Just like, I always say to Luna, like, you choose. If you don't like it, that's cool, but I'd like you to have a go. And then you'll figure it out. So she's like, halloumi cheese. She was like, whoa, that's awesome. I can't remember last time I ate halloumi cheese, but I just...
I can't remember either. I love a bit of halloumi cheese. Alrighty. So, I'm just curious, how did we even meet? Like, I was just thinking back.
That's so strange. I actually don't know either. It was through the fitness industry type stuff.
Yeah, I think it was through the coaching world.
Coaching world things. And, everyone kind of knows everybody in, like, some of these, like, the worlds, like Ben and all the...
Yeah, and the hypno and evolved world and those types of things. So I guess what I want to ask is, what was the need for you to start working on your mental? So what was the breakthrough moment? So you've obviously been great in the fitness world, like really love your PT, really love your nutrition, but what was the thing that made you, I know you weren't having results with your clients, but for you, what was the thing? Or did you have I need a coach for this, or I need to learn this? What was your aha moment of learning the spiritual conscious side?
I don't know what the calling was. I just somehow aligned with someone, through someone, got to our good friend Ben and went to one of his events, and it was just totally different. It was so totally different. It was stuff that I had never even thought of, like the values and just stuff. And then we did a breath work that day and a meditation, and I was like, what the hell is this stuff? I was so weird.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like, fitness guy in my ego, and I went to this day where we did yoga and breath work, and I was so fucking uncomfortable. I was like the only dude in the room. And it just kind of like, I don't know, just opened up that box, doesn't it? Is that what happens? You just kind of go, ooh, what's under here? And I went to another one, and I went to another one, and I got a little bit deeper. And then, I remember specifically going to one, and it made me so uncomfortable I left.
Oh, really?
I fucking left.
Wow.
And fast forward to now, it just kind of shifted my state in regards to like the way I perceive the world and my values and that stuff, because you don't learn that when you go to PT, become a PT, and then training it just like, I always thought I call it Pandora's box. It's like, ooh, what's under here?
And it's like, too scary.
Yeah, and then when I went through some deep process work with Ben, and we did some one-on-ones, and I did my hypnotherapy and that, it was just like, wow, I didn't and then it was the breath work that I did with Ben as one-on-one. We did like a Kundalini activation, destroyed me, by the way, and I had so many like physical convulsions and cried my eyes out, and it just broke me to pieces, but then made me realize what was under there. And then I was just like, wow, I didn't realize any of that was sitting there.
Hey everyone, Nichole here, and I hope you're enjoying today's episode. I just want to take a quick moment to talk to you all. If you're finding value in our conversations and loving the raw, honest dialogues we're having here, I've got a small favor to ask. This podcast is a passion project for me, and there's nothing I love more than bringing these stories and insights to you. So if you haven't already, would you consider subscribing to our show and leaving a review? It's completely free and it doesn't take much time, but it really helps us in two big ways. It's getting the podcast in front of more listeners, which keeps our community growing. It helps us attract more amazing guests, which means we give you more value in the episodes we bring to you. Just hit that subscribe button, drop us a review, and let's keep these conversations flowing.
I highly recommend like having one-on-one sessions with a breathwork coach, because I've done breathwork in groups and before ice baths and meditations and the rest, and in big workshops. And by the way, we're talking about Ben Clark. Anybody's listening, he is a friend of mine as well, teacher. I met him in this world, and he
totally opened up my world, totally changed my life in regards to this world. So I love you, bro.
Yeah, he's a beautiful man. He used to PT me back in the day.
No, he's like, we had the same journey. he's done bodybuilding, he's done fitness as well. But yeah, just sort of opened my eyes up to realize how much was actually stored energetically in me from the things that I either like, past tense and inner child stuff, and we're not going to go there. But it was just I was like, wow, I didn't realize. And then it was that moment where I was like, people need this. Yeah, the release that I had, and how good I felt afterwards, which like the clarity and the profound healing and the lessons and learnings that came through, I was just like, everyone needs this. 100%. And when I did a breath work yesterday with another friend, Nick, and he said the exact same thing. When he came out of his breath work, he was like, people need this. Yeah. And that's why we do what we do, I suppose, because it
was exactly the same for me. So I went looking because I was a drug addict, and my first session of hypnotherapy was so fucking profound. I wasn't ready for the actual healing because I did get sober and went through that journey. Yeah. But about a year later, I went to this course and I started learning about hypno and NLP. I was like, fuck. Yeah. Like, it was like a big calling. I was like,
the way we see the world, right?
I was like, I self-sabotaged to get to this point. God or the universe wanted me to learn this. Everybody fucking needs this, because I had tried counseling and doctors and medication, and nothing worked. And when somebody guided me with their words and their energy, it was fucking so profound. And through the journey, I was just like, well, kids need this. Like, not just us adults. I thought I'd work with adults.
I do hypnotherapy on Luna, and she doesn't know. And then sometimes she's like, Dad, don't do that thing to me.
Always get that consent. No, I love it. You can do it where it's open. I used to do it with my boys. So my Brody, he was 8, I think, when we moved in here. Yeah, it was, because nearly 10 years. 8 when we moved in here, and we're going through divorce with their dad, and he was so angry. And I just asked him straight up. I was like, when was the first time you were angry? It was so funny. Yeah, and he's like, when I was stuck in your tummy, like his little fist.
Wow.
And without, right? The funny thing was, he was breech. He was stuck under my liver, and he wanted to get out, and so he broke my water.
This stuff just
2 weeks early.
Hectic.
And still back then, like 10 years ago, I was really diving into it. I wasn't really working with many kids, but my kids were the first ones, and you just have to ask the right question. He had held on to his anger for 8 years, and I was like, well, what do you need to do? And I just asked these questions and helped him. And so he was so angry in the fact that, like, like mum and dad weren't living together, but he'd held on to it for 8 years because he literally came out, his little neck was like not so strong.
And then it come out in the moment of that new trauma.
Asking the question. Asking the question, like, well, what do you need to, and it was so profound. And so I do love the fact that learning hypnotic language, learning to be the right questioner. That's the best thing about a coach, asking the right questions. Because every single client has their own answers inside of them. It's being able to hold that space and ask, and obviously for them to have the trust in you to open up.
That was the other part, I think, is like it's the skills behind the language, right? And it's not only it's to speak to people differently, because when people, anyone that gets coached by me, I have no bullshit filter now. Like, I will call you out on your shit because I know, we know that is your shit.
It's your story. Like, you're attached to it.
You might get ready to join coaching and then something kicks in and I'm like, well, I ask you the question and I was like, well, how do you really want to feel? How do you want to feel this time? And you ask these questions and don't give me your shit. Give me, I want to
go deeper.
Go deeper. And then they're like, got me.
Yeah.
And I just like, obviously I want you to join my program, but I want you to see you succeed.
Correct.
I want you to get through that, get through the crap, give yourself all these bullshit excuses, and I can get you straight through that. Yeah, so it's been cool, that journey with the NLP.
Yeah, right.
I find that, because you can do it through breath, you can do it through, like, questions, but people going back to, like, pre-birth into, like, womb, into, like, oh, man, I've had people do that too.
Oh, I think it's just so profound.
And if you're listening to this and you're like, what
are these guys on drugs? We're actually not.
It's just good coffee, but I've talked to people on these sort of, like, deep interconnected levels, and some people are, like, open, and some people are just, like, don't get it. So,
well, Paul Alicio, who's Ben's trainer and teacher.
And I've done work with Paul too.
He's amazing, and he does. And I've studied hypno with 5 different teachers, and he's one of the best. I remember doing a healing in this very room. So this is when he used to do one-on-ones, and we did he's also my Reiki master, so he did Reiki, and I went back in this journey where I felt that me and my ex-husband had a past life. So in my mind, I'm doing this meditation, doing this thing, and I felt strangled. I felt like I was strangled in that life and past. And because I went through whatever my mind was taking me through, and I forget, again, if people are thinking, what are you talking about? It's literally my mind going in a dream. If you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. But the message or the metaphor from the dream was I felt restricted and in that moment. And it's because I released that, as kid you not, that day he dropped off the kids and we weren't even speaking, he gave me a hug.
Oh, I didn't even tell me that.
He literally gave me a hug, and because I did the work and I let go of the pain and the trauma of what I had felt in the relationship this lifetime and had an idea about it, it just made so much sense. Much sense.
There's just so many layers. Oh, delivery man.
So,
what are you getting?
I don't know, but he didn't knock, so that's good. Don't you love it, guys? When I have my new space, there'll be no delivery man. So it happens every now and then when we're doing a podcast.
I was doing a corporate call for Beyond Bank the other day. And I was like in the middle, I'm delivering this like epic thing, and then the delivery man rocks up, and I needed what he had, and he knocked on the door, and I'm like, stay in the zone, don't be distracted. I'm like, but I really want the parcel, and I had to watch him walk away whilst I'm still in the middle of my thing. Oh, that was so funny, and I was like, oh. No.
I just love the fact though that we can have that tangent and still talk, because we are human. We live, it doesn't have to be the cookie cutter reel. That's what I love. Like you had Luna on the call when I was in Bali, and she's like asking questions. But that makes an even more authentic coach. We're not sitting in the perfect lab, like, whatever else. We are parents. Shit goes on. Yeah. And we're living and breathing and walking it. Like, sometimes I have a raw on my lap, she needs to go potty or whatever. And like, you just got to do what you got to do. So
yeah, I've had Luna 6 years. I've worked online now since I've had that incredibly amazing opportunity to be able to work from home, and I've seen her grow every single day. And literally the day I was in the office and I'd finish, and I always try and shut my office door. So I finish the energy, I close the room up, and I leave that anchor. And then I came in, and she had her laptop opened up, pretending like she was on her clients as well. So monkey see, monkey do. And I say to her as well, and this is just my thing, and this is where I've come from my value. I said, learn how do you make money? She says, helping people. Because that's what I say. How do you make money, Luna? Helping people. That's what she knows.
I'm gonna cry.
So hopefully I can give her that same thing. I've helped people my whole life, and I've made an incredible career from it.
That's
That big one, mic drop. We can leave.
We're done. We're done. The podcast's done, guys. How do you make money? I honestly believe, and I guess I say it a different way, we're all put on this earth to serve. We have an act of service.
Soul's purpose.
Yeah. Well, no, just an act of service. Like every single human is here to be of service.
And to tap in to find it.
And, it doesn't matter if you're helping your neighbor or if you're, just, whatever that is, whatever your thing is, if you volunteer or do whatever, but being of service of something calls us. And when we're in a depressed state or not in a good place, mentally, emotionally, relationship-wise, if you can be of service to somebody else, your whole nervous system shifts.
That's how I got through my phase.
Yeah. You just have to be of service. And when you're having a funk, like if you could do one thing for somebody else, whether it's a text message saying, hey, I'm thinking of you, you're amazing, or whether it's, getting out there, or I see this guy walking and he has got a walking frame and he's obviously recovering from something and he has support workers out there. And one day I just went out and I was like, mate, you are my idol, like my hero. You get it. Like you motivate me. And he was so happy to hear that. Like just be of service.
That gave him like a lightning bolt to be like,
but he's my hero. Like I can use my legs, and he's out there struggling, walking up and down. I'm like, hey mate, you're rocking it. Like fuck yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Just be of service, and it could be a kind compliment. It just has to come from your heart. But I love that. How do you make money helping people? Like that's just so fucking cool. Yeah. Very cool. Very special. Watch that space where Luna's going to go.
Yeah, she's going to do some big things, I reckon. She's an incredible little human being, she is.
Yeah.
As we believe that all actually.
And I am going to put you back on the spot, though. So I really did fall in love with your energy when we did meet. And I believe that we've got some work to do together for the parents. Because there's a masculine and feminine here. We're bringing the holistic health. We're walking the walk. We're being good role models for our own kids. But I believe that sometimes parents, when they are holding on to their own stuff, they can't be present or they don't have the skill set to unpack or speak consciously like that to their children.
Yeah.
So one day, guys, watch out for the Luke and Nichole Show.
Yeah.
Because we have something, because there's something really powerful about sharing this stuff and having the ripple effect for the parents, for their kids. Also, a big shout out to myself. I am running my very first parent and child workshop at the Riverdale Goodness Me Festival.
Oh,
it's the first time I've ever done it. So we're going to be healing the inner child within for the parents, but having their kids, because the kids are actually allowed to come this time. So we'll be doing a connection piece. Because sometimes parents don't know how to connect. Their kids are like, I've had to teach some parents to say I love you because they weren't taught it, or other things. So it's going to be super powerful, but I really do, if you're a parent and you're listening to my world, find somebody that you want to mentor or model off of. And it doesn't have to necessarily be me or Luke or whoever, but find somebody that you want to listen to. It could be free on these platforms. Find something else, because there's somebody that's been through or is going through what you're going through. Yeah. And that's why we kind of want to share our messages.
Yeah, it's so funny that you just said that, like the whole connection piece. And it's just the divine timing. But I just went through a real big breathwork journey. We talked about that before. And it was, Nick said just so beautifully, is like, show yourself the love that you show to your daughter.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
yeah, and that's what some of my coaches said. Like when I was going through the most hardest times, it was like, well, what would you tell your child?
Yeah.
And so for those that don't have kids, it's what would you tell your inner child? What would you tell younger you?
Yeah.
But if you've got a child like you, if your child was struggling with depression, overeating, whatever it is, anger, a bad relationship, we always compromise ourselves. We're like, oh, I better stay for the kids, or better just suck it up, or do the 9 to 5, even though it's killing me physically.
Yeah.
What would you tell your child? If your child was working a 9 to 5 and hating it, you'd be like, wait, you're killing yourself.
Do something that you want to do, and do something
but we
that
don't use those words for ourselves.
Yeah.
And me always
we can talk about the matrix so much as well.
Yeah, but reframing to what you would tell your younger child or yourself is just so like profound, because it gives you that permission slip. Because sometimes we don't give ourselves permission.
Yeah.
We put too many restrictions on ourselves.
Yeah.
So eat the donut.
Eat the donut.
Eat the donut, and give yourself permission.
And we're going to jump into that one because I just think it's could be groundbreaking for people. But again, it's the way you speak your words into reality. And part of the module that I do, the psychology behind food in the challenge, is one of my clients said to me, she's like, I was like, how was your weekend? Doing a one-on-one coaching call, and she's like, it was a bit shit. And I was like, what happened? You were good? I had a donut. I was like,
This makes me laugh.
Girlfriend, you had a donut, and I was like, wait a minute. This is just pre-frame this back, right? So you're telling me your weekend was bad because you ate a donut. So you've related your whole weekend to be bad because you had a donut. And she was like, yeah. And I was just like, just have a little process there for a second, yeah? You know, so just be careful that, you know, you didn't have a bad weekend. You had some food. Your weekend was probably fantastic. But that conditioning you have around the belief of the donut caused your whole week and your whole life to be bad? Crazy.
Oh my God.
So, you know.
If only my life was bad because of a donut. Could I blame myself?
You know, and like in a child, like yesterday after my thing, I got myself the biggest ice cream yesterday.
I love that.
I just finished my thing and I was like, what do I feel I need? And I was down at the beach. I sat on the beach and just processed some stuff. I grabbed the biggest ice cream and I had the best time. I was like, this is just wicked. This is exactly what I need.
Well, I always go back to Cocoa Pops now. He told me I can eat Cocoa Pops when I'm on my
Cocoa
right calories.
Absolutely.
Well, it's great. Like, and I think it is the mindset though. Like for me, coming back to that, understanding and loving on myself, knowing that I can eat the right. You know, if I want to have a bowl of Cocoa Pops because my body's needing it, like I'm not eating them every single day and smashing 10 bowls a day.
And let's just put that in there.
But if my body's needing it and I'm within my calories and I've matched my macros or I've, you know, really exercised that day, my body wants something, don't deny it. Like, and because I'm like, yeah, my body composition has completely changed. I swear to God, if I didn't have the mindset though, and I was just eating all this food and going, oh, this feels gross, it's not good. Because I think I've done it before with a PT. I thought I was eating too much food. But I'm just loving on myself going through the process.
Yeah.
The whole body changes. It shifts.
And I just want to like make sure like this, the team no diets thing and the way like flexible nutrition should work. It works differently for everybody, but at the end of the day, you can't just eat a ton of shit because it won't fit in, obviously, micronutrients, right? And I ran a corporate workshop the other day and a lady challenged me. She was like, I don't believe fruit's bad. And I'm just like, but she goes, no, fruit's bad, don't touch fruit. And I was like, come on, man. I was like, you've got to have variety, nourishment. And if you're having 10 to 20%, that is the Freddo Frog and, you know, like the 45 gram serving of Cocoa Pops, which regulates, keeps you satiated, and you enjoy that process. You've still had fruit, you still had fiber, you still had vegetables. Flexible nutrition doesn't look like eating shit and trying to squeeze KFC in. It's just, that's what people think. They think, oh, but you're eating all this bad food. No. It's just the fact that if you did that over time, you just see that as a serving size and something that gives you satiation. This lady has seen and she believes that fruit's bad because fructose is bad. How dumb is that? It's crazy.
But her body would react to it though.
And you know what? And she says, I can't lose weight. She goes, I have to be on a low carb diet to lose weight. And I said to her, when did you decide that?
Yeah, correct.
And she was like, well, because and hormones and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, no, I'm sorry. I've got people that eat 250 grams of carbs, which will get you up to, and you'll look totally different. 100%. So I could battle people like that all day. But no,
I love it. But yeah, find the right coach, find the right trainer. I just think that when you are ready for whatever learning it is, like physical, mental health, like, you know, it is so important to have that person to coach you through it. You can have any person give you like a workout plan and a diet plan, but unless you truly believe in it and you have that mentoring and accountability, nothing works.
Or get lost. Like I've had the more new coaches that came through for me this year as well. When I went to a 3-day event on the Gold Coast, it was like 16-hour days, blew my head off. And he was saying like, you know,
learn from
everybody. But the more educated you are, like obviously the more you earn, but the more you can bring into your reality because you're just connected with so many people.
Correct.
I've learned from so many people, and I'm so excited to like continue. I've invested a ton of money this year. And the growth has been like,
and I think
it's quantified.
But look at us, like we literally get to connect, have a coffee, have a chat on a podcast, but still live the most authentic and best life. Still, you know, parent, you get to run off to recess now and see swimming.
Yeah, we go see swimming.
Life is good. So, any last minute suggestions for somebody that's listening to this? I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah, I find like this, if you are feeling flat and you're not feeling motivated, go a little bit deeper into like how it might look like for you when you are motivated. Like what are the things that are going to keep you in that state of motivation, and pick 3 things today or tomorrow that you can do as non-negotiables. Like, hey, I'm going to commit to drinking more water. Could be committing to and go to gym 2 days a week. Don't try and overshoot your ambitions. So like, I'm going to do 5 days a week and I'm going to eat salad. Whoa. Keep it simple. Do 2 days. And yeah, I think be a bit more conscious, awake, and aware about the way you speak around your children.
100%. I love that one.
Conscious
How do you help people? How do you make money? You help people.
Yeah. And if you're ever thinking about leaving the 9 to 5 world and you're scared, just do it. If you can break free from the matrix, like reach out to Nichole, get yourself in a space where you're helping people, and
I love it. Well, we'll definitely have you back on, and I'll put all your links underneath.
Yep.
But thank you so much for being on the Nichole Show.
The Nichole Show.
The Nichole Show. So welcome.